class.
Alright guys, scoot this way for a second. Everybody scoot in. We're gonna go inside in just a minute because I know it's cold. But, do you guys see what's up there?
Yeah.
What is that big thing behind me? What is that?
Airplane?
There are airplanes on top of it. Okay, so
That works for me.
that is a gigantic something. It has airplanes on top. What is it? What is it?
Boat.
It's a boat, but it's a huge, huge, huge boat, and so we call it a ship. We call it a ship. And do you guys know the name of this ship? Anybody know the name of it?
Army ship?
So it was the Navy ship. It was owned by the Navy. You're on the right track. Do you guys know the name of it? It's also the name of the museum. Ooh, it's not the Titanic. I'm glad it's not, or else we would sink. It's called the Intrepid. Everybody say Intrepid.
Intrepid!
Yes, it's the Intrepid. Now, the Intrepid is a museum now. It used to be a ship that was active during wartime, but now it's a museum. So I want you guys to think about how we act in a museum. I know you all have been to a museum probably before.
How did you get the ships and things?
How did we what?
How did you get all of this stuff here?
All the stuff here? So the ship was brought here in 1984, I think, and it was bought by a really rich person who wanted this to be a landmark in New York. And then the planes were all brought in separately and put on top. There was one helicopter that actually flew and landed on the Intrepid, which was pretty cool. All right, so this is a museum, so what should we do? Yeah, yeah, we want to make sure we listen to people when other people are talking. Exactly. We don't want to be too loud. Also, there's a lot of people here today because this museum is really popular. So what else should we do with our group so we don't get lost? Yep, we want to stay together, okay? You guys are going to stay with me, and this is Jonathan. My name's Jessie. You guys are going to hang out with us today. We also want to make sure to do what with our hands in a museum?
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. We don't want to just go around touching everything because there's a lot of old stuff in this museum. We don't want to mess it up. Okay?
Yeah, and also you can get
Exactly. You could also
be brave.
very smart, guys. So I want you to do a great job and follow all of those rules, and we're going to have the best time ever. Are you ready?
Yeah!
Okay, let's get out of the cold.
Wow, this is pretty cool, right?
We're gonna go inside right now. Really cool. Everyone looks over there. What do you see? If you look down, see water. It's there. Where do you think we are now?
Land.
Are we on land or are we on something in the water? Okay, so we're actually inside a really, really big boat right now. It's so big we call it a ship. Can everyone say ship? Yeah, so we're inside of a ship right now. We're actually on a ship, so we're going to go inside right over here. We're going to see some really cool things. Do we have questions? What's your
Those
question?
are just little buoys down there.
Yeah. Alright, so let's make our way inside. Friends, you're going to follow me.
What's the name of the ship? You guys remember? Intrepid. Great. We're already doing such a great job remembering.
Right now we're inside of that ship. What do you think we're going to find inside of this ship? What do you think we're finding? I love that you're raising your hands to answer yes. Oh, so maybe on the submarine outside there was a submarine. What else do you think you might see today? Yes.
Old stuff.
Oh, some old things? Yeah, definitely some old things. Can you show with your fingers, how old are you guys? Show with your fingers, how old are you? Let's see, 7. Let's see, 8. Alright, you can put your hands down. So this ship is 75 years old. 75 years old. So it's pretty old, and there's some old things on this ship too. Oh yeah, maybe it's a Oh yeah, my grandmother's younger than me. Yes, what's your question?
How is this book made?
How is this boat made? So we're going to try to find out how this boat is made. Does anyone have any other questions? Yes.
How did they make a big boat and brought it in here?
How do they make a really big boat and bring it here? And yeah.
How did they have all the supplies to use today?
How do they supply? So your question is a lot about how this boat is built. So it's really, really big. It's kind of hard for us to get an idea of how big the ship is. Let's go actually see a smaller version of the ship. You guys can follow me this way. Wow, that's cool, Noah. So what is this ship made out of? Legos. Is the ship we're inside right now made out of Legos? No, can anyone do this? Stop on the floor, stop on the floor. What do you think that's made out of? Metal. Yeah, it's made out of metal. So this ship that we're in is made out of metal. Let's look at our Lego model of the ship. What do we see when we look at our Lego model of the ship? Yes. See planes on here. Yes. Okay, so because we see the Legos has a lot of supplies that are making this. So we see planes on top. Or is it? Oh yes, my friend over here.
I see soldiers shooting guns over there.
You see, say a little louder.
I see soldiers shooting
Soldiers, so people that work on the ship. There are people that would work on this ship. You see planes here. Yep. Right here. You see a little louder. An American flag. So who do you think this ship belongs to? We see an American flag on it. Who made it? Who do you think made it? My friend in blue. Yep. Yeah, United States made this ship. So those are the people that made this ship. And as this ship has planes on. My friend here, you have a question or notice something? Yes. Who made it? Who do we say made this? The United States of America made it. So say it one more time. How is it built? So do you think one person built this or a lot of people had to build this? Yeah, okay, so the small version we're looking at, only one person built. The one we're inside right now, a lot of people had to build it. But now we're trying to figure out why they built it. Why do you think someone wanted a ship with planes on it? Why do we want a ship with planes on it? Yeah.
Back in the days, there were a lot of wars, so they wanted to get in the air and fly.
Okay, so maybe these planes were used for war. Yes?
Because when the ship sinks, they can quickly get away with the plane.
Okay, so maybe if the ship sank, they could get away, but there's a lot of planes here. Why it says please don't touch? Because you could easily break it. You have an idea?
Yeah, maybe because they wanted to show the other people the history.
Oh, maybe they wanted it to be a museum. So this ship sailed around the world. It was actually used for war.
Yeah.
And these planes, can planes fly forever? Can they just keep going and going and going?
No.
No, why not? Why can't planes fly forever? Think about a car. Can cars drive forever?
No, because they need fuel.
They need fuel. So let's say if this plane needs fuel, the people flying it get tired, they can actually go somewhere. So they actually, this is like an airport. Why do you think they would want an airport on the water though? Why have an airport on the ocean? Why do you think that? Yeah?
Maybe because so the plane, so then they don't have to be close to the
Yeah. So the planes don't have to be close to land when they're flying around, so they could just land on a ship like this. So do you think this ship still sails around, planes still land on it all the time? No, not anymore. Not because this ship's a museum now. It's a museum. And it's a pretty cool museum. It's a sea, air, and space museum. So looking at this, can anyone tell me why you think it's a sea museum, S-E-A? Why do you think it's a sea museum? What does the ship have to do with the sea? S-E-A. What do you think the ship has to do with the sea? Yeah?
It's on the sea.
It's on the sea, it's on the water. Now can we look at why do you think this is an air museum? What about this makes you think it's an air museum? Who have I not really heard from? Do you know why it's an air museum? We look at the top. Is there anything that has something to do with the air? Yeah, the plane. So that's why it's an air museum. And what we're going to learn today is why it's a space museum. And we're actually going to go inside something called a planetarium. A planetarium. I hear a familiar word when I say planetarium. What familiar word do I hear when I say planetarium? What familiar word? Yes. Planets. So we might be able to see planets and stars and really cool things. So we're going to find out what Intrepid has to do with space. We're actually going to learn a bit more about space too. So, by the way, this ship is called Intrepid. And Intrepid means bold and fearless and adventurous. Why do you think they called the ship Intrepid and not Fluffy Unicorn? Why do you think they didn't call it Fluffy Unicorn? I kind of would like a Fluffy Unicorn now.
It's not a unicorn. It's a normal boat.
Okay, so it's normal. It's not a unicorn. Yep. Yeah, because they kind of want to match it to what the job of the ship was. All right, so we're going to look around and try to find out some different things about names. So you guys going to follow me this wall? We're not outside. There are some walls further away. So you see the walls over there. All right, guys, can you follow me? So we are looking at something pretty interesting here. Does anyone think they know what it is? Yep. So I've heard the word time capsule. It's not a time capsule, it's called something, wait, do we think we know? Oh, so, okay. So you said space shuttle. I'm going to combine the first word you said and the last word you said. So he said space shuttle, she said time capsule. So what is this called? This is a space capsule. Very nice. Okay. Oh, and it comes from, okay, so you might be used to seeing space capsules on the very top part of a rocket like this. Can you point to where you think the space capsule would be on the rocket? Yeah, the space capsule is the very top, tiny part of the rocket. And what are rockets used for?
They're used to fly in space.
To go into space. So most of this rocket is fuel to go up into space. You need a lot of fuel to go up into space. But something very, very, very important goes in this top part here. Can anyone guess what very, very important thing goes inside this very, very the top part here? Anyone I haven't heard from want to tell me what they think goes inside? What do you think goes inside? You really think you know what goes inside? Or who goes inside? Yes. The person. It's a person. What do we call the people that go into space? Yep. No, so we don't call them drivers. They do have to drive it, but we don't call them drivers. Yep. Astronauts. So the astronauts are inside of this. So what's interesting about this, it has to go up into space. So what we're looking at, what I say these are called again? A space capsule. Space capsule. And what we're looking at, how many, do you think it's very big? Not that big. How many people do you think would fit inside of it? Show me with your fingers how many people do you think would fit inside. How many would fit inside? 2? Okay. So maybe a few of you could fit inside here, but if it was me, there was only one person that could fit inside this one. This is the very first space capsule the United States used to send people up into space. Babies? I don't think any babies have been up into space yet, unfortunately. Maybe one day, but it's a lot of pressure when you're going. Because it's a lot of pressure. It's pushing you up. And you have to go through a lot of training to go into space. And a lot of things are different. So it might not be super safe for a baby right now. Maybe eventually we can send a baby to go to space. Okay, so if you look here, but the baby wouldn't be alone. There'd be people with the baby. So this is what it looks like when the rocket would blast off up into space. And you would have an astronaut like this inside. So this is
Why
what
does it say so long?
Scott Carpenter, that's this guy's name. So his name was Scott Carpenter, one of the astronauts that went inside this space capsule. So this space capsule has an interesting name. This is the first space capsule the United States ever made. So they called it the Mercury space capsule. Can you guys say Mercury space capsule?
Mercury space capsule.
Beautiful. So has anyone heard that word Mercury before? Heard that word Mercury before? Well, yeah. Did anyone here think of that Mercury and heard the planet? Yeah.
It's so tiny.
Okay, so it didn't turn into a star, but it is very small, and it's very interesting because it's in our solar system. Does anyone know how many planets we have in our solar system? How many? Show with your fingers how many planets we have in our solar system. We have one. We only have one planet. We have 10 planets. We have 9 planets, 8 planets. How many planets do you think we have? Okay. Okay, so all right, we can put our hands up. When I was a kid, there were actually 9 planets, but one got demoted. We said it's not a planet anymore. There are no planets that we get. Pluto we don't consider a planet anymore. We call it a dwarf planet. So now there are 8 planets. Can you guys shout out some planets for me? What's
Earth.
Earth? Very important planet. It's my favorite planet. Why is that my favorite planet?
Mars.
Okay, right, so I'm trying to find it. So Earth is one. Great. Someone said Jupiter is another one. Yes.
Saturn.
Saturn is another one.
Mars. I said Mars.
Oh yeah, I did say I heard someone say Mars. Mars is another one. Yes. Uranus. Yep. Uranus. Yep. There's another one. Yep. What's another one? Oh, you guys are good. Neptune. I have 2 here that I haven't shown you yet. What do you say this one was named after?
Mercury.
Mercury. Very nice. And we have one starts with the letter V.
Venus.
Oh, you guys are good. Venus. Okay, so these are the planets in our solar system. Does anyone know the planet? Okay, so let's say I'm the sun of the very. Actually, I'm gonna have. Can you actually stand right over here? You can sit there too, actually. So you're very bright. I'm gonna have you be the sun. Okay, so she's the sun. Does anyone know the planet that's closest to the sun? The planet that's closest to the sun. Yep. Say what a little louder. The moon is actually very close to Earth, and it's a moon, so it's not a planet. Yes. Earth is the 3rd planet. Earth is the 3rd planet. Yeah. Mercury, can I have you scoot right over here? Can you hold this? Great. What's the one that's right after Mercury? It's not Earth yet. It's not Neptune. Yes. All right, I'm gonna help you out. It's Venus. Okay, my friend here, can I just scoot right over here? Here, Venus. Okay, now I set Earth the 3rd planet, so which one is this one? Earth, okay, I'm gonna scoop you right here. Okay, does anyone know what's right after Earth? This planet is very close, or people on Earth want to travel here soon. Yep. Mars, okay, can I just scoot over here and do that? Robots, yeah, we've sent robots to Mars. Okay, so yep. Jupiter, yep, so you can scoot right over there with Jupiter. Yes. So not Neptune yet. This is actually also a big planet and it has a ring around it. This planet has a ring around it. My friend right here?
Saturn.
Okay, so you have you Saturn. Go scoot right over there. Don't feel left out by people here. I'll give you high fives for just hanging out. All right, okay, and then what's after? Yep. So then it's actually not Neptune. It's actually not Neptune. So what's the other one? Uranus. So can I have someone else scoot with that one? And what's the last one? Yep. Neptune. Okay, so this is going to be our circle. That's fine. Okay, great. I'm going to give you guys high fives just for hanging out. Boom. Boom. Awesome. So this is our planets in our solar system. And over there, that's the Mercury space capsule. So this is the first planet. Why I said this was the first something too, right? Why do you think we named this Mercury and not Fluffy Unicorn? Why do we name this Mercury and not Fluffy Unicorn? Yeah.
Because it was right next to Mercury.
Okay, so now that it's right next to Mercury, Mercury's the first planet. What were you thinking? Okay, so it's the first planet in our solar system, and Okay, so the first planet in our solar system, and Mercury is the first space capsule we're using to go into space, okay? So, what's the name of this capsule again? Mercury. How many people fit inside of it again? One. Okay, great. I'm going to take my planets back. You guys have done a great job of recognizing planets in our solar system. We're going to have to know these when we look inside our planetarium. Okay, great. Your teacher's inside the planetarium right now, and we're going to meet up after we're done.
It's one of my favorite things there.
Yeah, because they stick with the map, right?
Yeah, I like the way they see.
Oh, you see them? That's great. Okay, so I'm going to grab my bag. You guys can stand up. We're going to look at something else.
Man, our planets are moving.
Okay.
Dun, dun.
So I need your help. I need to find another space capsule. What was the name of that one again? Mercury space capsule. I need help finding another one. So you tell me if I can find it. First space capsule. Is it this way? No. Is it that way? Is it that way? Way over here? Wait, that way. I think it's that way. Oh, this way? Okay, that's our space capsule. How did you know this was a space capsule? It looks very, yeah, it almost looks alike. It looks similar. I like how you said almost. It doesn't look exactly like the other one, right? What's different about this one? Yeah, so this one, the other one people went around inside too, but this one we can actually go inside. Can everyone do me a favor? Can you actually take a seat here? We're going to get a chance to go inside in a bit. So we looked at Mercury space capsule. How many people did we say fit inside that one? One, right? How many people fit inside this one? Two people fit inside this one. So we did not name this the Mercury space capsule. We named this something else. And we called it the Gemini space capsule. You guys say Gemini space capsule.
Gemini space capsule.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so the Gemini space capsule. So we're on a ship right now. There's a reason why we're talking about these space capsules to begin with, okay? So these space capsules would go up into space, right? And then they would be floating around in space. Do you think they're going to stay in space forever, though? Yeah, they need fuel. The astronauts eventually need to come back. So they need to come back to Earth. How do you think they came back to Earth? How do we think they came back to Earth? Yes?
By having who are in charge of watching them.
Well, they call the people that are in charge of watching them. So they need to come back down. So you notice it didn't have the rest of the rocket with it anymore. So it needs to start pointing back down to Earth, right? It points back down to Earth, but then it would want this thing. You know what this thing is? What is this thing? Yep. A parachute. They want a parachute. Definitely want a parachute. Why do you think NASA, the people that produce the space, why would they want a parachute? Why do they want a parachute? Do you have an idea? Why would they want a parachute? You have one answer? Oh yeah, let's see it. Because they need to come back to Earth. Yep. Okay, so they. Oh, I like you said water. Because they don't, what, if you don't have a parachute, you're just dropping really fast, right? If you ever see a movie with things coming from space, it's really hot, there's a lot of fire, it's very dangerous. What were we going to say? How are they going to hold it? So they have a button they would press that would open it up, and the parachute holds onto all the air and it slows it down. And where do we say it landed? My friend here had a great idea about where it landed. Yep. In the ocean. Why do you think the United States decided to have the space capsules land in the ocean? Why land in the ocean? You have your hand? No? Okay. Yeah.
Don't fold it up.
Oh, because it might be really hot. Yep. if they land on the land, they might hurt themselves. So if they land in the water, it'd be a nice soft landing. So that's what happened. The capsules will land in the water. They would splash down in the water. And yeah, do you think they would swim home after that? What do you think would happen? What do you think might happen? They stay, oh yeah. Someone will take them. Okay, so a helicopter picks them up, and ships would actually come pick them up. Like this. Can anyone think of a perfect ship that could do this job, that could pick these people up? Yeah.
Titanic?
Not the Titanic. Yep. This one. So the ship you're on right now would actually pick up space capsules after they land in the water. And it would actually bring them home. So that's why Intrepid is a space museum, because after the astronauts went up into space, they would bring them the space capsules back home. So they picked up a Mercury space capsule and one of these two. Yes? Why would they do what? Pick up the space capsules? Why would they go into space? Oh, so they're not going to space to explore, to see new things. Because if you go into space, you learn different things about our universe. And they were racing, competing against another country to get to the moon, too. But a lot of technology we have, so does anyone here have a cell phone? Your parents have a cell phone? Right? That cell phone technology, we would not have that without people trying to go into space. Because we were trying to go into space, we developed technology like cell phones and things like that. Okay, Brett, can everyone do me a favor? Can everyone actually stand up? We're going to form two lines. We're going to be your first two. My first two, okay? Wait, my first two are here. Thank you. Alright, so when they step out, we're going to make our way inside of our space capsule here. This is called the Gemini space capsule. There's two people in. Alright, our
guys,
first two can go in.
Stand back here. Everybody's gonna get to go.
I'll pass this while you guys are looking at stuff. I have another thing too. This is a Mercury space capsule I'm passing around. And you can look at this too. And if you drop it, don't drop it higher. If you drop it this right there, yes.
I know, I feel like...
Okay, alright guys, can you step out to let the next people in? And be careful, watch your heads on your way out.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be an astronaut.
I saw like two windows, but it wasn't there.
Oh yeah.
How was it in there? You like it?
You can pass it to other people so we can see it. You guys can sit there. Yep. Yes, yes, yes.
1 hour and a half later.
Okay. Alright, can we step out, let the next two in? Just be careful coming out. Wait, let them get out. Let them get out.
1 hour later, let me try to get out of that world.
Alright, next step, they get out. Thank you.
What is this even for? Sleep? I don't even know what it's for. Yeah, I just any button you want. Now, do this place actually glasses on? Next.
Noah?
Next. You need
So this one's a model, so I learned about it, but this one is, yeah, it's very hard to get out. Just wait, be patient, let her see it.
Matthew, lay down. What? Yeah, I can pick it up, but lay down. There's no method. You by yourself? It's okay.
We're gonna go somewhere, we're gonna go to
Okay,
the
next.
Planetarium next. We're
Se
gonna go see
acuesta,
those
se acuesta.
planets.
Mire que ya pasa que ya va solita.
Gemini or this
And you're gonna be
yeah, that's Mercury space.
Oh, mami, eso don't pay attention.
Yeah, that's one.
You'll like it.
Okay, let's go. Where was this?
Maybe the last lady will have time to go in there. We're gonna go
Lindsay,
somewhere in the back.
Sada, you have to wait. Next time.
Also, I think I saw this one. Pick up that hat that was over there.
God, do you feel like in spaceship?
Did you have
Feel like in space? Sarah.
somebody else have
Now.
Hi.
What happened with the last one?
All right, guys, everybody grouping over here.
What do we do with these?
We are going to get ready to go into the planetarium. Mercury on the screen.
That's our planetarium. Go inside. It looks like a big. That's a simulator to go. We're not going that. I'm just gonna open this door. Watch out for the door. Okay. All right, friends. We're actually gonna go inside this, and kind of raise your hand if you think it kind of looks like a bouncy castle. It does, right? I'm gonna tell you, it's not a bouncy castle. So what can we do in a bouncy castle that we cannot do in here? Yeah, so that means we cannot jump when we're inside of this, okay? All right, so when we're inside, we're going to be nice and quiet because this place is really special. Even if you whisper, you can hear the other people in there. So you want to be nice and quiet. So I might remind you if you... No, it's good. It's really fun in there. You don't want to miss it. So I'm going to remind you probably a few times to be quiet. So just remember, we want to be nice and quiet when we're inside. Okay, yeah. Guys, you're going to follow me on this side.
It's really fun inside. Jesse's gonna help you watch your step. Ooh, be careful.
We're going to walk in there right after
And
this.
you're gonna go.
Oh my god, that was so
So
fun.
this is
Walk
kind of like
right
a
up that
basket because it's filled up with air too. But we're gonna make our way inside.
Hello, Sophia.
Okay, so we're
Keep
gonna
walking,
sit
keep
crisscross
walking.
applesauce. We're
Guys,
inside.
keep walking so your friends can get out.
Yeah, it's really cool in there, right? We're gonna sit crisscross applesauce. We're inside, be nice and quiet, and you're gonna see a very shiny projector in the middle. Guys, can you not touch? Don't touch the big thing in the middle. Even if it's very shiny, even if it looks really cool, we're not gonna touch it, okay? All right. No, it's real. The thing in the middle is very fragile. I don't want to break it. Have you done it? Fragile means it can break it.
I'm so sorry. Can I close the door? Yes.
Okay, all right, great. So you notice what happens? It's starting to deflate because it's just held up by the fan that goes in it. You guys, you're gonna touch it gently, but we're gonna make our way inside. It's gonna. Can you close that after?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna go inside. And we're gonna sit crisscross applesauce. We're inside. Take a big step in.
Be very careful, guys. One by one.
Watch your
Be
step.
careful. If you all go in at the same time, you're gonna fall.
Take a seat when you can. Crisscross
Going
applesauce.
camping.
Don't touch
It does feel like camping. It's like a giant tent, you guys. We're going camping in space.
I don't need a saddle.
So I'm gonna take.
I have shoes on. It's so scary. It's not scary.
It's not scary, guys.
It's not scary.
You guys want to face this way. That's
Yeah,
where
you
you're
want to
gonna
be
see
able
all
to
the
look
stuff.
at the sky.
So let's lay down.
So you can lay down, but I would suggest turning around.
So this is right now. Lay down.
Okay.
Because the picture's gonna be.
It is right now. Lay down. Wait, is the earth moving?
All right. Okay. So we're gonna be nice and quiet, friends. Like I said. Okay. So I'm just gonna reset this over here. Make sure we're nice and reset. I'm just gonna do one more thing. I noticed something's off my constellation here. Okay. Great. So right now, what are we looking at? Earth. We're actually looking. So we're looking at Earth. You see some stars connect. So that's a little clue about what we're going to look at later. So right now in the middle here, we see Earth. And we said Earth is a planet. And Earth is the third planet. We were talking about other planets too, right? But we're looking at Earth. Does Earth usually stay still like this? No, Earth actually moves. Earth spins around. And you notice something happening because as Earth spins around, it's going around the sun. And that's what gives us our day and our nighttime. Can you guys point at the side that's daytime? Point at where you see daytime. Can you point where you see nighttime? Yeah, very nice. So that's daytime and nighttime.
I think I know when it turns. When it's gonna go to night, it turns and it goes to the back and then it.
Oh yeah, so it depends on which side is facing the sun or not. Okay, so Earth is a planet. We talked about another planet today. We said the first planet in our solar system. Which one is the first planet in our solar system? Shout it out. Mercury. Very nice. So we're going to now go to Mercury. Let's go to Mercury.
This is fun. It is so good.
So all the lines that you guys see, remember, nice and quiet, friends. All the lines that we see are the paths that the planets take around the sun. So we're looking at different paths that planets take when they're going around the sun. Okay. So right now we're making our way to Mercury. So can we point at the side of Mercury that's facing towards the sun? Yeah, very nice, friends. You can put your hands down. Okay, so Mercury looks a lot like something else that's very close to us. What does it look a lot like? The moon looks a lot like the moon. That's because Earth is pretty special. Earth has a bubble that protects it. And that bubble is called the atmosphere. But Mercury doesn't have an atmosphere to protect it. It's so close to the sun, the atmosphere got burnt away. So that means things bump into Mercury all the time. Do you guys see any proof that things bump into Mercury all the time? Does anyone want to raise their hand? What's proof that things bump into Mercury all the time? I see a hand raised here, I think. Yes?
Because I see little holes.
Yeah, those little holes, those are craters. Those things bump into Mercury all the time, and just as things bump into the moon all the time, so it has little craters in it. So Mercury is different from Earth, and it also is the first planet. It's also a very fast planet. Do you know how long it takes Earth to go around the sun once? Do you know how many days it takes to go around the sun? What's my friend here?
8 months. 8 days. 1 day.
So it actually takes 365 days for the Earth to go around the sun. Does everyone you've heard that number before, 365 days? What makes 365 days? What is that in? Yep. A year. So that's Earth's year. That's how long it takes Earth to go around the sun. But Mercury goes around the sun in just 88 days. So Mercury's year is only 88 days. So it's a lot faster than Earth is. All right, so that's Mercury. I want to show us that thing that it said was named after Mercury. So to do that, I'm going to have to go back to Earth. So we're going to fly back to Earth. Can we all say bye, Mercury? Yes, what is your question? Yeah, these things are all things that are in space. These lines don't exist in real life. They're just here to show us what paths the planet takes. But the circles, those planets are real. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so we're going back to Earth. Slowly going back to Earth. Alright, so right now we're back at Earth. And we can see how Earth's a little different from Mercury. And now we actually see something going around the Earth. And what's going around the Earth?
Rotating.
Okay, so when we say something goes around something, we say the word orbit. So this thing is orbiting around Earth. And this thing that's orbiting is actually called the Mercury space capsule. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pause this movement. And I'm going to have to just look at the Mercury space capsule. Do you remember when we saw this? Yes, it's the Mercury space. How many people did we say fit inside? One. Yes, Mercury space capsule. 1 astronaut inside. So we named Mercury space capsule after Mercury the planet. I talked about another space capsule though. And that space capsule is called Gemini. Yes, it's the Gemini space capsule. It's a little bigger than the Mercury space capsule. And this one would actually be going farther into space than the Mercury space capsule. Because the United States wanted to go to the moon, so the Gemini space capsule was practiced to get to the moon. Because the space capsule after this actually went to the moon. So this is the Gemini space capsule. So what we're going to do now, we're actually going to try and find out how Gemini got its name. So first, before I do that, I'm going to change the time a little bit. Yeah, really cool. So it's actually... Yeah. Here it's like we're in space. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys our view of space, okay? So let's say if we were on the ground, this is what space usually looks like to us. And can you guys see stars and planets in here right now? No. Why can we not see stars and planets right now? Raising our hands. Why can we not? Yes. It's daytime. And I said we have a great atmosphere, but something that's not so great about our atmosphere, it traps light inside. So when the sun's light comes to Earth, all that light is trapped. And that means we can't see all the stars and the planets outside because all those lights are inside. And that's why in New York City, we can't see too many stars because all the light from New York City makes it hard for us to see all the stars outside. But I can do something special inside this planetarium. I can make that atmosphere disappear. If I did this in real life, we would not be able to breathe, okay? But if I do it in here, we'll be fine. Yes? What is that? So you see something else? So let's see if we can see more. I'm going to actually take the atmosphere off. I'm going to see if we can see more. But I need some help. I'm going to count 3, 2, 1. And then I want everyone to take a deep breath in just in case I accidentally take all the air out here too. Okay? Alright, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you guys agreed? Okay, we're good. Alright, so this is what it would look like if we did not have an atmosphere. It looks a lot like nighttime. So what can we see some things right now. What do we see? Can we shout it out? What do we see? Stars. See a lot of stars. So I want you guys to imagine a long time ago, people didn't have technology like we have today. They didn't have TV, they didn't have Wi-Fi, they didn't even have radio. They would actually look at the sky to keep themselves entertained. They would tell each other stories. They imagined that they saw shapes in the sky. So imagine if you ever looked at clouds and imagine if you saw shapes in the clouds. They did that with stars. They kind of did connect the dot pictures with these. And they called these constellations. Can we say constellations?
Constellation!
Very nice. So they would imagine, like connect the dot drawings, and they would actually imagine these constellations. Can everyone look at the stars right now and see if you can connect some of the dots to make some pictures in your mind?
I think I found the Big Dipper.
Oh, so someone else already knows some constellations. So look at the
It's
sky.
right there.
See if you can connect the dots and see anything. All right. Are we all looking at the sky? Okay. So a long time ago, people looked at the sky and they would imagine shapes like this.
See the Big Dipper there?
Wow. And I already heard someone mention the name of a constellation. So what's interesting, the Big Dipper is actually a smaller part of a constellation. So a constellation, the constellation is considered this big thing, and the Big Dipper is what we call asterism, which is just one small part of it. And the Little Dipper, you have this right over here. And these people a long time ago would make up stories based off these constellations. And one of the stories actually has to do with Gemini. So what I want you guys to do, the Gemini space capsule, how many people fit inside the Gemini space capsule? Gemini? Wait, 2 people. The Mercury space capsule fit 1, Gemini fit 2. If you guys look around and see any constellation with 2 people, let's see if you can find a constellation that looks like 2 people. Can you point at the constellation that looks like 2 people? Oh, very nice. Okay, so I see a lot of people pointing over here. So this might be a little hard for us to see. I'm actually going to show you what the ancient people used their imagination. So now do we see the 2 people here? There's 2 people here, right? Yeah. So they would actually tell each other stories about these different constellations and what involved these 2 people. And these 2 people, their names were Castor and Pollux. And they were brothers and they loved each other very much. But Pollux could live forever and his brother Castor could not. And this made Pollux very, very sad because he wanted to live together forever with his brother because they were best friends. So he asked someone with a lot of magical powers, Zeus. He was the god of the sky. He asked them, the Greek god of the sky, he asked them if he could actually give half of his forever to his brother so they could live together longer. And this moved Zeus. This is such a sweet story. He actually thought this was so great that Pollux wanted to do this, that he put them together in the night sky so they'd be together forever. And that was a story the ancient Greeks would tell each other. And so we're actually looking, someone mentioned the Big Dipper, and the Big Dipper is part of a constellation called Ursa Major. And Ursa Major kind of has some cool stories around it too. And there's actually a Native American story where there was a great bear that was terrorizing all the villages. And they actually got 3 hunters, so 1, 2, 3 hunters to chase the bear. And the hunters chased the bear so much, chased it all around the world, that the bear started running into the sky. And that's why it's constellations in the sky. That's another story people told. So some stories even had something to do with each other. So I'm actually going to...
I think I see Jesus.
Oh, see, maybe. So you might see some different people. Use your imagination. Oh, you see a dragon? Alright, I'm going to move time around a little bit. We can see what else we can find.
Oh, it's a giraffe.
Guys, can we stay in one spot, please? Because I don't want us to bump into our friends.
I think I see a person fighting.
So I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to tell you guys a story that has multiple constellations in it. So this is another story the Greeks told each other. And this involved this woman, her name was Cassiopeia. In her hand is a mirror that she loved looking at herself. Does anyone have any siblings or family members that just take selfies all day and look at themselves all the time? Yeah, they're kind of like Cassiopeia. She loved looking at herself, and she said she was the most beautiful person to have ever lived. This made the Greek god of the sea, Poseidon, very, very angry. Because he had daughters, and he thought his daughters were a lot more beautiful than Cassiopeia. So he decided to send a sea monster to attack Cassiopeia and her village. If Cassiopeia did not take back that she was the most beautiful. So he gave her the choice. He was like, Cassiopeia, you can say either you're not the most beautiful, or I'm going to send a sea monster to attack. Do you think she said she wasn't the most beautiful? No, she actually said, no, I think I'm still pretty beautiful. So he sent a sea monster to attack her. But then she hired a hero to protect herself and the village. And the hero was this guy over here. His name is Perseus. And Perseus knew there was no way he could fight the sea monster on his own. But he knew of another monster that could maybe help. And that monster's name was Medusa. Yeah, you know Medusa. What's special about Medusa? What happens if she looks at you? Yeah, if Medusa looks at you, she can turn you into stone. So what do you think Perseus wanted to do with Medusa's power to fight the sea monster? How could he use Medusa's power to turn things into stone against the sea monster? What could he do?
So I think the Medusa, I think is more strong than the sea monster because sea monsters only kill by their skills, but Medusa's only turn. They use their eyes to turn the sea monster into stone.
Oh, so Perseus was thinking he'd use the Medusa's power to turn the sea monster to stone, and that's what he did, and he saved Cassiopeia and her town. So keep in mind, these are all different stories that people would tell. There's a lot more stories, but I just want to share some with you and kind of have you figure out what these have to do with the space capsules we were looking at. So what I'm going to do right now, I want you guys to keep in mind they didn't actually they didn't have these pictures. They had to use their imaginations. They didn't even have these lines. But they actually told each other stories and entertained themselves that way. And that's what we're going to do right before we have to leave. Okay, so I want you to look at these constellations again. And let's actually practice this because we're going to make our own constellations and tell each other stories. Can we look at this constellation? Let me see if my mouse over here. I lost it. Alright, if we look at this constellation over here, what does it kind of look like to us? What does it kind of look like? See a hand raised here? What does it look like?
Stone.
Yeah, right over here.
It
It looks like a rocket ship. Can we think of a story about a rocket ship we could tell quickly? Can we think of a quick story we could tell about a rocket ship? My friend here, yeah. What's a story we can tell about a rocket ship? Okay, so maybe someone went into a rocket ship to space. Can we think of another story about a rocket ship we could tell? Right here.
Another one is that the time capsule is like floating in space, and then the capsule got out, and then it flew out.
space, the capsule got loose and is stuck in space forever. So these are great stories that we can tell. So we're gonna practice this outside. The first thing before we do that, I'm actually going to bring your atmosphere back on. And we're all going to stand up. We're going to start making our way outside. No, we're going to do an activity and then you guys have to head back. I know it's very nice in here, right?
We have to head back to school.
Yeah, you have to head back to school.
What time is it? Then we got
Yes, leave them out underground. Yeah, I think it's better that way because I don't think that is the thing. Yeah. So we're going to follow Jesse outside again. Please be careful for the projector inside, try not to bump into it. Again. No. We're going to walk outside, friends. We're walking outside.
Let's go.
Walk outside. We're going to follow you. We're walking outside. All right.
One at a time. Don't touch the outside, guys.
Okay.
We don't want it to fall on the people that are still inside.
All right, I got it, Jesse. You can
Okay.
keep walking. Yeah.
This way.
Yeah. We can actually sit in a big circle, okay? We can sit in a big circle in the middle. We're gonna touch this up in a bit. Guys, take a seat first. Take a seat. No, not yet.
That's okay, that's outside.
All
We're
right.
not going out there.
So, remember we were looking at those stars, and then those people made those lines. What do they call those lines again? Yep.
It's called.
Yep. Constellations. Constellations. So then you put the constellations, and then they would add pictures to it later. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to give each of you a piece of night sky. So Jesse's going to hand you a piece of night sky.
What are we going to
This
do
is your
with
piece
it?
of night
You're
sky.
going to make your own constellation. So we're going to give each of you a strip of 7 stars. So we're going to start passing that out. So each of you are going to get 7 stars. Let me know if you only have 6 on your sheet. 7 stars. This might be more. Let's know the other side.
Here, sir.
Okay. Here you go. 7 stars. Some people are going to have silver, some are going to be gold, but that's fine. You're just going to get what you get, guys. I'm going to make sure everyone gets one. Here you go. Here you go. Okay, so you can put your stars in your night sky. And in the space, were the stars really close together or were they far apart? Far apart. So you don't want to put all your stars really close together because then you might not be able to draw things there. Because we're going to give you some white crayons to draw your lines. Okay, so you can start putting your stars down.
I'm going to put it by us.
Okay. So putting your stars now while
I'm
I
going to do a little dipper. I already got one already. I'm doing the little dipper.
start. Okay, you can make ones you've seen already or you can make your own.
Yes, I want to make one.
What?
I want to thank you. Thanks. I'm doing the big one.
Well, let's see what people make. Yeah, you guys are going to take this home after. Or what are you going to
Yay.
do? Show your parents.
What about we lose them and we win another one?
Well, you can't lose them. Yeah. Don't want to lose it. You just stop. You're done. So I see your stars. So now maybe connect them. Let's see if we can connect them.
Last star. I already did the big dipper.
Oh, cool. So yeah, you can connect your line. When you're finished, you can draw your lines, and maybe on the back you can write your name. On the back of it, you can write your name with your crayon.
I have my star in the back.
Yeah, right in the back. Yeah.
Let's see. What can I do? Actually,
The super also has 7 stars. It's based on a constellation. The super.
Really?
I can't remember what the constellation is called. Every
Yeah.
time I hear 7 stars, I'm like, oh, super.
Super.
oh,
You finished great. Okay, so can you write your name on the back of it just so we know it's yours?
I'm doing a capsule.
The capsule? Oh, cool. Okay. All right. So now turn yours around. So I know you said yours is a Little Dipper. Can you think of a story maybe with the Little Dipper, or maybe what it looks like, and think of a story with it? We're gonna share stories in a bit.
Like a story about once there was a boy had an axe.
Oh, cool. All right. So think about maybe a story about an axe. Yeah, it does look like an axe. Yes.
What about a story about once there was a chair in outer space?
Okay. All right. So there's a chair in outer space. So think about maybe why it's in outer space, or a funny thing that could have happened with the chair, or a scary thing that could have happened with the chair. Yes.
Once there was a couch in space.
So there was a couch in space. Oh, who would sit in the couch? The person. So maybe think about who would sit in that couch. Think of people that might be in this story. Because usually when I hear stories, there's something that happens in the story too, right? So think, yeah. What's there? Was what? A cliff?
Ooh.
Oh, cool. So think about a story with a cliff. So now I see there's a bunch of things in space. Now why might it be in space? Or what's something interesting about it? Of course you can. We can use all of your stars. Okay. So I see people starting to finish up. If you have not already put, I'm going to throw those out. If you have not already put the name at the back of your paper, please do that. Great. And now what I want you guys to do is turn to someone next to you and start telling them your story. Turn to someone next to you and start telling them your story.
You have trash? Trash? You don't have any? Do you have trash? Paper trash? No? Are you keeping some of your stars?
Tell your story.
Okay, let me tell you what it is.
Who's gonna tell a story?
So, once there was a outer space,
Yeah, I know what
wanted
it
to
is.
see.
Yeah.
No, no.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
also
yeah.
you can see the Paris Tower. So,
Yeah.
a chair in outer space. So a person wanted to sit on, but it floated out away.
Alright, let me grab that.
Whoa!
So you're telling each other your stories, we're going to share a scene, okay?
I see guns.
Yeah, there might be some weapons out there because we use
Come on, guys. I want to hear the story.
Look at how long that stick is.
Is that the story? How long the stick is?
No!
Come on, tell us the story.
One day there was I knew your name.
Tell the story.
Did we figure out who sits on the couch in space?
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to go to space and sit on the couch. I think a space couch would be awesome.
Oh, I think a space couch would be awesome.
And a space chair too. That's it.
Alright.
Is that your chair? Who sits in it? Who gets to sit in it?
Alright, in about 1 minute we're going to share out our stories with everyone.
How did the chair get there?
Go ahead, guys. Tell your story.
Ooh, so it was like a rocket chair? Oh man. That was awesome. You don't want to share?
Okay. That's fine. Alright.
I want a shirt.
I'm going to start collecting the crayons from the people that have not given them back yet. So please, can you give me those crayons back?
Lindsay, what did you make?
Crayons back. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. See, lovely heart on your name, Lindsay. Alright.
What did you make? Is it a
I think
different
I'm
sun
going to take
than our
next. We
sun?
have to leave soon, okay?
Special sun?
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know? Does the sun have a name? Or is it just called the sun?
Okay. Can we form our circle again? Can we make sure everyone's in the circle this time? Because I saw there were 2 people that were out of the circle last time. So my friends, yep. Make sure we're all in the circle together. Yes. Okay, so we're going to hear from our friends and hear some of the stories. So it'll be nice and quiet while we listen to their story. Yes.
She was 5 years old. She always wanted to go to space. Since she wanted to go to space, she did not have a ship, so she took her couch with her and went to space and lived there.
Wow, that's great. Can we give her a nice round of applause? Thank you so much. Very nice job.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once upon a time, there was a chair that was in outer space with fuel. And the fuel like make it go crazy that it went all the way to Earth.
Wow.
And then in 1 year it come back to Earth, but then it got into trouble and exploded.
Whoa. All
That's
right.
quite the journey for
Yeah,
that
can we give a nice round of applause? Nice story. Anyone else want to share their story? I guess we're in here.
One day there was a big war, and then a tank got shot all the way up to space,
Whoa.
and then it exploded. And then the driver went up to go see it, and it was gone.
Wow. Yeah, 'cause it was up in space. All right. Very nice story. Nice round of applause. All right, we're gonna have one more. I'm gonna do something else. Yes.
One day, a woman was cleaning soup, and by mistake, she got burned. And it was burning a lot that she threw a chair to space.
She's like, oh, my hand's burned through a chair. Oh, wow. Okay, we give a nice round of applause. Great job. Okay, oh, you want to share yours too? All right, let's hear from Sophie. Yep. Okay.
One day, there was a bear,
And so there's a bear that went in space. Ooh, all right.
So where is the bear? We can't even see
Okay,
it.
so can we actually put all our constellation in the middle? Let's make a nice night sky. Let's not throw it like that. We're gonna make a big night sky together. So I'm gonna turn over. All right. It's okay. It's okay. I think it looks great. Okay, so we're gonna put our night sky together. No, please, please. Because think about all the stars in the night sky. And you always use your imagination. I would love to have you included in this. Okay. We don't have to talk about it. You're just gonna show it. All right. Okay, so we all have our sky. Okay, great.
Oh, we tried out.
Okay, so look, these are all great constellations, okay? So, I remember when we were inside there, we were looking at different constellations. Some of the constellations had different stories that had something to do with each other. So, let's say if I want to tell a story with more than one constellation. Let's say if I was sitting on a chair, and then all of a sudden, I saw a spider. And I was so scared of the spider that I ran out the house, tried to get a shovel to hit that spider with.
Actually, it's
Okay, so I find it interesting. So he said it's an axe, but I'm using my imagination, and I'm seeing, and for me, I think it looks like a shovel. So different people look at constellations and make different stories. So even if you saw it as an axe, other people might see it differently. So I used my shovel to go attack the spider, but then the spider jumped at me, and I was so scared that I ran out of the house and I drove far, far away. Okay, so that's my story. Can everyone look at the night sky and think of a story with one or more constellations? Make sure you're thinking, look at it, think, no, please leave it, please leave it, it looks great. And someone might want to use yours. Okay, so we'll look at it and think of a story we can tell using our imaginations with these different constellations. Did anyone not share their main story that wants to do this?
you did Sophia too.
Okay, well, let's hear from Sophia, yeah.
One day, I drove,
Can you point which constellation you want to when you talk? So you drove, yep.
and I saw a spider,
Oh.
and
Does anyone want to add to Sophia's story? So one day she drove and she saw a spider. Then what happened? Yes.
then I ran, but I got caught in a spider web.
Whoa. You Miranda got caught in a spider web. Does anyone want to add to that? Anyone want to add to that part of the story? Yep.
So then I ripped the spider web, and then I went inside a pipe that it leave me. So then I took the chair, and then I smashed it to kill the spider.
Oh, wow. You want to add to that, or you're on a different story? Yeah, so let's add to it. Yep.
Then I went to the shuffle room, and then I got the shuffle, I went back to the couch and smashed the
Okay, just to make sure it was really, really gone. So
The spider is not having
yeah.
a good day.
Can we have a nice round of applause for the story there? Great. So you guys did a great job making constellations. You actually used your imagination and told each other stories. That's just like what people did a long time ago. And those stories inspired us to actually create things and name them after those constellations. That's why I have the Gemini space capsule with the 2 people, and even other things in space. We call the Mercury space capsule, named it after Mercury the planet. So when you guys look at the night sky, I wanted to look and see if you can find any constellations. Even if there aren't that many you can see, why don't you try? Maybe you can tell your parents or your family a story. Okay, so I'm actually gonna pile these up. Do you guys want to take them with you, or should I give them to your teachers?
Take them with us.
Okay, all right, okay. So you guys can take yours. Hold on to them.
Or else somebody else will have to make them.
Okay.
Oh man, look how strong you are holding that door. Thank
Ça va être plus sympa là.
Alright, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a great group. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your
Have a good one.
enthusiasm and your knowledge.
Anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Guys,